What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So for you guys, the content has been rolling uninterrupted because that's how we like to do it here on Diesel and Iron. But for Rick and I, it has been a hot minute since we've been out in the field because, well, as you guys know, this past year has been a little bit crazy. We had Russia go to war with Ukraine, and we've had fuel prices going through the roof and material prices going through the roof. And so what happens in that circumstance is homeowners pull back. And so we had a lot of work dry up. So Rick and I have been kind of doing different things that have been paying our bills while we kind of wait for projects to come back. And here we are on our first project. And it's not a huge one, but it'll be a fun one. Fun in the sense that this is gonna be a little technical and it's gonna be a pain in the ass, which, you know, we all love those jobs, right? So here's what we've got. We have this really steep driveway and the homeowner drives a small car, and they need to be able to get up this steep driveway. So we're going to make that happen for them. But here's the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. We have the gas main running right across here. We have AT&T running across and up the driveway. And the whole goal is we want to lower this area here by probably 10 inches. And as we turn around here at the road, let me make sure I'm not gonna get hit by a car. As we look up this driveway, so right out here in front of us, we want to take that down by about 10 inches, somewhere in there. And then we want to, right now it's ramped up real quick. And we want to take this and kind of make it a slow transition so that they can get their car up it. And the main goal is right up in here. We are going to try to take that area down by about 2 to 3 feet so that this whole slope overall is a little more gentle. So that is the plan for today's project. The main challenge being these lines in the driveway where we are trying to, you know, flatten the driveway out. So I'm going to, we've got a Case CX80, that's Case's 8-ton machine. I'm gonna go jump in that sucker and we're gonna get things kicked off. We're gonna start by stripping gravel. Rick just went to go get the skid steer so that he can start ferrying gravel and then ferrying all the material that I dig up. So that being said, let's go jump in the hoe. I'll catch you in a minute. All right, so the first step is I'm gonna start pulling gravel back because we wanna obviously save as much gravel as we can. But I'm only gonna strip half the driveway at once so I don't lose my markings for cable and for gas. And so that is what we're going to do. And we're just gonna go nice and easy so we don't hopefully rip, or I should say, so hopefully we don't rip a cable out of the ground. So the nice thing is, that's about where I want to be on the depth. So we may get out of this without having any issues with the main lines, which we shouldn't in theory. You know, it's one of those things where the utility companies, if they do what they're supposed to, they should be deep enough, we shouldn't have any interference. The question is always on these jobs, did the utility companies do their job? So I'm gonna back up a little bit and I'm gonna go mark out my utilities on the side we shaved down, and then we'll do the other side. There we go. And now we know where it is. All right, let's do the other side. Oh, and I got paint all over my fingers. Come on, man. And I was just out of the cab too. Had I been paying attention, I would have pulled the trash can out of here. You know what they say about hindsight? It's 20/20. Just give her a little love tap over. Maybe. Something like that. Whoop. You know what? We're just not gonna be lazy, and I'm gonna get out and move that trash can. Because I know I'm gonna accidentally hit it just a little too hard, or it's gonna pinch on something, and then it's gonna crack, and then I'm gonna feel bad, and we're gonna have to buy him a new trash can. And you know, why don't we just save ourselves some heartache here? And I really hope someone walks by while I'm out here talking to myself, so I can look extra crazy while I'm f***ing around with a trash can, talking to myself like a crazy person, right? So I'm gonna keep doing this, guys, because you've seen the gist of it. And I'm gonna turn the cameras on when we get back to where we're hogging material and doing something more fun. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we're on to phase 2-ish. So we're not totally on to phase 2, which in my mind is, you know what? Forget the phases. We're just gonna totally screw the phases. Basically what I'm doing is I took all of the road gravel from behind me here. I threw it out here so that I could then push it. So that's what we're working on right now, is pushing a lot of this road gravel up the hill, and I'm just gonna stage it in the driveway. And so because we have the cable line running through here, I don't want to cut deep. I want to expose it with my bucket, not with my blade. So my goal here is just to take the pile that I've formed and not actually dig up any stone. So this is all done by feel and by sound, and just takes skill. You know, it's one of the skills you develop when you're running one of these machines. I can tell from the resistance on my blade and the sound that it makes when it's cutting. I can tell when I'm digging versus just taking the material that's on top. And so that is my goal, is just take the material on top for now. And then once we get up here, the way I'll stage it in the driveway is I'm actually creating a lift in the driveway. And so we'll have the stone sitting in the middle of the driveway, and it's going to be about a foot higher, you know, 8 inches higher than the rest of the drive. And that way we are not making a huge mess running the skid up and down the yard. Rick will be able to come and go over the stone pile to do all of the logistics that need to happen without tearing up the yard. So we'll lose a little bit of stone as it pushes out. That's okay. That's not really that big of a concern as compared to doing a bunch of yard restoration. That's what we're trying to avoid here. So that's what I've been doing. I'm gonna spin around and I'm gonna go back to with my bucket exposing, because I do want to find this cable line so I know exactly where I'm at. So yeah, we've been at it for, I don't know, a half hour, somewhere in there. So we're not that far in, and I feel like we've gotten a fair amount exposed, a decent amount. So beauty of these low-hanging trees. Trying not to rip some lines off. And I'm smelling hydraulic oil, which I don't know what that's about. I don't see any evidence of a hydraulic leak, but I smell the oil. And so just so you guys know, overall strategy, we're gonna strip the soil. Hopefully by the time, or I'm sorry, the soil. My God, I'm a professional. We're gonna strip the stone. Hopefully by about the time I get this whole thing stripped and pushed up there and staged, Rick should be back. He can help me ensure that we're deep enough with the gas line. We can expose this cable line, and then I can actually go to town and start pulling material out of here. And I wanna drop this. Yes, we've pulled the stone out and it looks great, but really that's what our finish grade needs to be. So we need to take another 4 to 6 inches out so that we can put our stone back in and have this be the finished pitch. And so what we'll do, we'll pull all our stone out, we'll locate those lines, we'll dig this down, and then we're gonna come to the sides and we're gonna shave the sides down and pull that material so that we have a nice slope on each side. Then we'll roll our stone back out. And I'm hoping if we can do all of this in a somewhat reasonable time, I'm hoping we can have this job pretty well buttoned up by 8 o'clock tonight. It's 4 o'clock now. You know, once those tree branches are really gonna cause me issues. I'm hoping once we expose these lines, everything will go much faster because I won't have to be as conservative. But right now, I'm being pretty dang conservative because I don't know where that cable line is, and I don't really want to foot the bill for repairing a cable line. I'm going lighter here because I'm getting towards the bottom of my stone. And in theory, I should be safe in the stone because they would have put the line in before the stone was here, meaning the stone raises the grade up over the line. But you know how it is in this industry, ladies and gentlemen. The second you take that for granted and you go crazy, you hit a nice cable line. So that's why now that I'm at the bottom of the stone, I'm especially going a little more conservative, because who knows how deep it is, because Comcast is notorious for only trenching these things in 3 or 4 inches deep. Wonder if this is Rick saying, hey, it's gonna be like 3 more hours. No, I don't know who that is. Telemarketer. Anyway, all right guys, I'm gonna keep at it. We'll catch you guys here in a bit after I've exposed all this. Alright guys, we are in the last moments of today. So basically what we're going to do is clean up that little mess, shape this, and then we're done. And tomorrow we're going to come in, I don't know, around 8. And Rick's going to focus on moving the skid, or I'm sorry, this machine. He's going to move this machine. I'm going to run the skid and blow this stone in. And then by the time he's done and back, I should be finished up, and then we can move the skid off this job, and that'll be a wrap. And that is how a job quickly goes from being, you know, feeling like it's going to take forever to all of a sudden you're done, just like that. Boy, I think one more scoop's just about going to do us. So we're going to go up here and we're going to spin around. Just kind of smooth that on in there. Something like that. Then we'll pull back, we'll spin around, get our blade behind us, then we can help Rick blend all this in, and then we're done for tonight. I should specify, that's for tonight. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to start smoothing, because I don't think it's worth making another run for Rick. Boy, that is looking real nice. Would you guys like to actually see what I'm doing? It occurs to me that I'm turning the machine sideways and you guys haven't been able to see anything of what I'm doing. I'm a professional YouTuber. That's all road gravel. I'll just pull this right down in here. There's that rock back that I just spent all the time getting out of my grade. And by all that time, I mean I swiped it up the hill and I just drug it back down in here. Oh well. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh. Picturesque. All right guys, I'm cutting off the camera. In fact, I'm not even going to do an outro on this one because I talked to you guys like 20 minutes ago and then I gave you the segment that I promised you, so I feel like my obligations as the YouTuber are fulfilled at this point. So you guys enjoy yourselves. We'll catch you bright and early tomorrow morning to blow that stone in. Have a good night, guys.